Chapter 248. The herd of African rhinoceroses stomped the ground ferociously as they charged straight toward the divine tree. Meanwhile, in the sky, a swarm of thousands of mutated hornets also headed towards the tree, their buzzing wings sounding like helicopters and covering a vast expanse of land. On the other side, a horde of mutated deer with demonic, bloodthirsty eyes marched forward in large numbers. Their menacing appearance had attracted the attention of the righteous warrior of Misty Mountain, Cheesy. In a flash, Cheesy shot forward like a bullet and brought down the leading deer with a powerful strike. Beside Cheesy was the Ice Dragon, tasked with handling this African beast army. The divine tree, in the form of a wooden mannequin, pondered whether his forces could hold off such a massive enemy. It seemed as if every living creature in the area had joined the fray, making it feel like a battle among them. Suddenly, the sound of war drums echoed rapidly. A tall man was striking a massive ox-hide drum forcefully. The divine tree was surprised. Was there such a coordinated drum performance? It turned out that the king of the barbarians had arrived. He stood on a high wooden platform, carried by dozens of warriors. As he approached, the barbarian king sensed numerous powerful auras emanating spiritual energy around him. He felt a mix of caution and excitement, especially toward the tree before him. The spiritual energy of this tree was boundless, but this only fueled the warrior king's determination to fight. His eyes flashed as he stared directly at the divine tree and shouted, "It's you." The barbarian king recognized the divine tree as the mutated tree from the Federation of China. Don't ask how he knew. He even had a PS4 in his bedroom. But in response, the divine tree remained calm, gently radiating spiritual energy around it. Meanwhile, the red-haired sorcerer on the highest platform began casting his spell. He muttered incantations to summon the power of fire, causing the flames in the cauldron before him to surge under his control. In an instant, the fire grew into a raging storm, rising tens of meters high and aimed directly at the divine tree. They believed that no matter how powerful the mutated tree was, it was still just a tree. And what tree doesn't fear fire? Cheesy and the mutated deer halted in their tracks at the sight of the enormous flames. Why was the fire so massive, and why was it pouring down from the sky? The ferocious sea of flames approached the divine tree, now only 50 meters away. Despite the advancing inferno, the flames weren't moving too quickly. The divine tree, showing no intention of resisting, lazily assessed the power behind this attack and clicked its tongue in contemplation. It seemed the humans on this continent were not weak after all. The divine tree prepared to adjust its posture to endure the heat for a moment. Unexpectedly, a golden monkey darted in front of the divine tree, gripping its staff in a ready stance. With a fierce roar, the monkey unleashed its power, moving directly into the heart of the firestorm. It swung its staff mightily, and to everyone's astonishment, the flames were pushed back in the direction of the swing. Could it be that the golden monkey had harnessed the power of the wind? With a single sweep of its staff, it reversed the fiery storm back to its origin. At the barbarian tribe's sacrificial platform, the flames, now betraying their original intent, rushed back towards the red-haired sorcerer. The sorcerer was horrified, his eyes wide with disbelief. In all his years of practicing magic, he had never been attacked by his own spell. The massive flames engulfed the entire barbarian tribe. Though the fire appeared large and fierce, its orange and yellow hues indicated it lacked the purity of the nine-tailed fox's flames. The fire enveloped the entire barbarian tribe, but the warriors did not panic, did not dodge, nor did they show any fear. They let the flames burn around them. On the high platform, the barbarian king laughed heartily and remarked to the priest beside him, "That monkey is quite strong, isn't it?" After that, he addressed all his people, warning them not to be careless, as these mutant beasts were not easy to deal with. Standing in their way now were 3 members of Misty Mountain: the fire duck, the brutal werewolf, and the golden monkey. One barbarian warrior clenched his teeth in frustration. A single monkey was already strong enough, and now there were 2 more formidable creatures, each large and powerful, matching the monkey in combat prowess. Little did he know, There was an even more fearsome crane that usually appeared only at the last moment. At this point, the barbarian king wiped off his smile and formally commanded his people to be absolutely cautious. Just then, a root shot up from the ground, and the golden monkey perched atop it. The barbarian king was immediately startled, realizing that if this was a surprise attack, they would have never seen it coming. The divine tree appeared in the form of a young adolescent, with a calm demeanor and eyes as bright as the stars. Recognizing the leader had arrived, the barbarian king loudly declared, "You are the mutated tree from the Federation of China." The divine tree responded, "Knowing I am the divine tree, yet you still lead your army here, a truly brave warrior." The barbarian king, pleased, laughed heartily and proclaimed, "Why should we fear? Charge forward, even if it means death." Ha 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 ha. The divine tree announced it would help the barbarian king achieve his wish, raising its hand. Instantly, a dark aura spread out, followed by a thick fog, rolling like waves. In moments, it covered a vast area, enveloping the barbarian people within. The fierce warriors of the barbarian tribe were astonished. This fog was so dense that they couldn't even see their own feet. One clever warrior realized what was happening and shouted, "Be careful! This fog can dull our senses," meaning it could cloud their minds or something similar. The man with purple eyes saw a pair of red eyes in the fog. What was that? Before he could react, the reaping scythe slashed through him, cutting his body in two. Suddenly, countless mutant beasts of all kinds emerged from the mist, devouring each barbarian warrior alive. The scene was utterly horrifying. It was clear that the creatures of the Misty Mountain Legion were unaffected by the fog created by their master. The mutant beasts emerged, forming a long line. Leading them were mutated wild boars with bodies as large as elephants, followed by gigantic snakes that reared their heads tens of meters high. The Misty Mountain beasts tightened their encirclement, forcing the barbarian people into a confined space. The priest also realized that the fog had no effect on the mutant beasts, but it was too late. They should have known that this hallucinatory fog was one of the signature skills of the divine tree. The divine tree raised its hand and declared that the hunt had officially begun. At the same time, dozens of gigantic wooden hands extended from its arms, reaching out to grab the barbarians. The spot where the barbarian king stood was instantly reduced to ashes, and their high wooden platform was shattered. The barbarian king shouted that he would not be foolish enough to fight here. He would confront the divine tree directly. It turned out that the barbarian king was not only powerful, but also possessed exceptional combat acumen. He leaped into the air, soaring dozens of meters high, and instructed his guards to handle the situation. The barbarian king approached and confronted the divine tree. A king must fight a king. He charged fiercely, summoning something from the void with his right hand, his face filled with determination. In the next moment, a massive, spiked, primitive mace the size of a truck appeared. The barbarian king swung it directly at the divine tree, smashing its form to pieces. The fragments of the divine tree's body floated in the air. The divine tree thought to itself that the barbarians truly lived up to their reputation. Whether it was the fire priest, the high priest, or this barbarian king, they were all exceedingly warlike. Their race seemed to share a singular trait, a love for battle. Seeing that he had shattered the divine tree's form, the barbarian king proudly declared that the divine tree should not underestimate him, and it might not be able to withstand him. The divine tree, feeling enraged by this arrogance, retorted, "Then I will grant you endless despair." Had the divine tree's preferences changed since becoming the new Dark King? Chapter 248 ends.